Recording and live. Let's go. Beyond the fourth wall.
Will Rari finally be able to steal from a good grave?
Bro, you got
No.
like over 1,000 gold last time. Shut the fuck up.
No, I know. I'm just saying without, Duzon being like, I should report you to the cops.
Alright, we are live.
Greetings.
Last
Hello.
time on Beyond the Fourth Wall, Rosai betrayed the party, and for that she had to die. Upon her death, Vixen discovered some ethereal-esque strings attached to their corpse as it slowly turned to a pile of necrotic ash. And as the party rested down to heal up and restore their energies, this is where we will pick up upon this stream of whatever this shit is.
It's good to be not actively hunted. Wouldn't you say, Duzon?
Yes,
Though it troubles me. Is this what we're going to have to keep fighting?
I don't doubt so.
I mean, a rogue psychic that almost killed us, a wizard that summons or conjures up that necrostorm. I don't know if we're going to survive.
I don't know what I'll be if I turn back.
Well, if we turn back to the necrostorm, we'll probably be dead.
Precisely.
Or undead. You know, when I thought of grave robbing, I never thought the graves would come alive. That's not what I signed up for. Nor is it, you know, what's the word? I guess I'm realizing sometimes, maybe, graves may not be the best gig in the world to rob. When you grow up poor, Duzon, you'll be desperate to do anything.
I grew up without a dime, and I flourished.
Well, that and part of you being a plant and all must be easier for you.
I still have my hardships. But that is a tale for another day.
Well, away from the necrostorm, we've got nothing but time to kill. And besides, you and I both know we're not in exactly the best shape to be out and about, uh, you know, challenging the world or braving the storm, so to speak. Like Rory just has like a worried expression after he says like braving the storm.
I have no doubt we'll encounter one again.
Oh, please don't say that soon. uh, could at least wait another maybe 5, 10 years from now. Maybe when Laurie learns how to become a dragon so that we could, maybe stand a chance.
Saying I could grant that wish would be a lie.
Sometimes I wonder how wonderful those lies would be.
At this point, you would both notice Your newest companion of Little Flame is kind of just sitting by the fire, staring into it, kind of like whispering softly almost.
Who?
Lil Flame.
Oh, Little Flame.
They are kind of just sitting by a fireside, whispering into it, almost like they're having a conversation.
Is your friend okay?
He's fine.
Do you
Having
know
a
what
conversation.
not to be an eavesdrop, but talking to fire is not something I'm accustomed.
He is speaking primordial. The elements can be beings, if possible. I trust Little Flame knows what he's talking about. Or he's crazy.
Now that is more what makes sense to me.
I don't doubt this little friend knows what he's doing.
Does he have, like, a sort of quest for us?
I do not know yet.
So, you've been in the Necrostorm fighting business for a while, Duzon.
Yes. At least
How
that's how
do-
long I've been asleep.
How do you stand such a thing? Why, most people would be destroyed.
I was given an aura of protection, a blessing, if you will, by my deity. Borealis, keeper of seasons, appointed me to be the guardian of a town soon to be affected by it.
And I'm sure.
The aura was only temporary until the storm passed. Once I had learned of the impending danger that would come 20 years' time, I took the small town of Yuko, told them to dig underground. And when the storm passed, it would provide them shelter.
Well, I'm sure you did a good job on the account of the city still staying.
All but one survived.
Not fast enough, I suppose?
No. But it was the one that I wanted to save the most. During my time there, I had befriended a little boy. He would talk to me, ask me questions, and I'd answer. He would stand with me when I would stand soaking in nutrients from the sun. I tried to get him in the bunker, but he was lost. I couldn't save him in time.
Seems like your friend was a good one.
Yes.
Rari,
Yeah?
as Duzon describes these memories of a lost child that he so greatly wanted to protect, make a recall knowledge check. Just base intelligence.
Intelligence. Got it. This is directed to me, yes?
Yes, just make you and only you make this base intelligence recall knowledge.
Alright. Alright, that is. And I would just apply my base intelligence modifier, yeah?
Yes.
Just making sure I'm applying the right math. I got a 19 on the die. Plus 2 intelligence, that should be a 21.
As he describes these memories, it gives you a sort of deja vu, and you're not quite sure why.
Hmm.
Almost like a looking through the rose-colored glasses kind of feeling, looking at a time that was simpler, looking at a time where you didn't have such hardship and such strife.
You know, in some ways, Duzon, I envy that kid. He lived a life far different than mine. I'm sure now, of course, being he had such a tragic end, that part wasn't exactly best, but he had friends, real ones, not business partners and associates, not pickpocketing teachers and, well, criminals. He had a family, didn't he?
Yes.
And I'm sure he also had a funeral where people actually loved him. That's actually,
If they did, I was not there.
well, even still, I can only imagine being somebody misses. Growing up as I am, not a lot of people miss me at all. Uh, Perhaps partially due to my profession and, well, partially because no one sees you when you grow up with nothing. Nobody cares if you live, die. Sometimes, even for the littlest bit of moment, I feel like maybe I should have gone in that necrostorm.
No.
I mean,
It is not a path for anyone to choose. Your path is always at your choosing. You are not entitled to any profession, unlike I am.
you think I'll ever stop robbing graves? Maybe do something different? Do you think, Duzon, that even the worst person could change?
That is not a question for me, but for yourself.
Gosh, I hated philosophy class. Well, listening outside of school.
At this,
Always have to, huh?
go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
Um, just really unthinkable questions, I guess. That's really all Rari has to say on that.
At this point, Little Flame was kind of speak up and just kind of turn from the fire for the first time in a long moment and just kind of in pretty broken common, but as they have been trying to learn as much as they can from Vix.
Uh-oh.
What? Hello?
Yeah, it cut out
What'd
at
you hear?
as they. So the last thing I heard was as they, and then it cut out.
Okay, so let me back. As they turn to face and talk to you for the first time after talking to the fire for a while, they kind of speak in pretty broken common because they've been trying to learn as much as they could from Vixen. They kind of speak and say, when I'm struggle, and then they kind of just gesture to the fire, listen, learn.
Sure. I don't know what I'm talking about, but give it a try. Hey, Duzon, maybe we can learn a few things.
Very well. I trust the elements of nature.
And I have no idea if that will work, but I'll do it. Sure as heck beats doing nothing.
As you both sit by the fire, trying to listen to the crackling and the snapping of the kindling that was once wet with morning or evening dew, now being evaporated by the flames. You try and take some kind of insight from this ancient speak that you can't understand. Go ahead and make either a Arcana or knowledge or Nature check.
Alright, I am untrained in either of these, so that's a +2 only. We'll see how I fare. That is an 18.
So 18 from Rari. What did you get dues on either Arcana or Nature?
Math rocks, damn it. And it's nature or arcana, you said?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I am doing nature because I have a +10 to that. And that's a 19.
Sweet.
You both kind of just sit by the fire listening to these snaps, crackles, and the wind blowing through the fire, making it rustle and ripple. You don't really gain too much insight on anything because neither of you speak the elemental language of fire. But you do feel a sense of calm, despite the fact that fire is commonly known for destruction and general discourse. And with that, I will be right back. Hold on 1 second.
No worries. My 2 untrained skills, bro. Nature, Arcana.
Nice.
Rari never wanted to pay attention to Nat Geo, bruh. He probably should have, but didn't. Too busy trying to make money. Yeah. Are you struggling to roll dice?
No.
Well, here's our solution. At diceriggers.com, we'll help you always get the desired outcome. You want a natural 20 against a Tarask? Just put in our patent pending Rigamatron. set the desired outcome, and presto, that natural one possibility becomes a distant memory. Rigamatron is not responsible for any type of backlash, crucifixion, torture, or any other expletives that the Dungeon Master would execute upon finding out you're cheating.
Hey, this is great.
Ugh. I sure as heck hope Point Dexter never makes it into this campaign, bro. Could you imagine the encounters? Yo, boy. Hey, duzon.
I bet. Duzon would just look at him in disappointment and just be like, "You seem lost. Goodbye."
Rari would feel bad for him and not pickpocket him.
Sorry about that. My grandmother was needing help in the kitchen.
No worries, bro.
But yeah, what did I miss while I was gone?
Oh, nothing. We're just goofing off.
Yeah.
Alright. But yeah, you guys feel a natural calm while sitting by this fire and just listening to the snap, crackles, and pops of the combusting wood and the natural whooshes of wind flowing through the flames. And it's oddly peaceful. Oddly quiet.
Rari's just gonna be that quiet.
And on, like, natural rests, you would fully heal up to full health if a natural rest would already not put you there.
Alright.
All ailments kind of just leech from your body as it becomes fully night, and those that need sleep do so. So just Rari and Vixen, I'm just realizing that both Duzon and Little Flame don't need natural sleep.
Nice.
Yeah, Rari's going off to Dreamland.
Rari, speaking of Dreamland,
Uh-oh.
I would like for you to make a will save.
Me and my big mouth. That is a 29.
Perfect.
I don't like this. I don't know whether this perfect means something good or bad. Well, bad is relative.
As
really,
you
it's gonna
sleep
be.
during the night, what Duzon said about that little boy just seems to not be able to escape your mind. You think back to what it would be like to have a loving family instead of just be living off the street. You think to what it would be like to have legitimate friends. And then you kind of think back to the party and how, other than Rosai, who betrayed you, and the rest of the party by default, especially Duzon, you are starting to more Well, are you starting to more think of them as a friend? That is up to you to decide whether you think of them as a friend or not, but
He feels like he's like, man, like in his dream state, he's like, if only life were a little different. Maybe Duzon and I could be real good partners, real good friends. But I don't know how he thinks of me right now. I mean, he caught me in a lie. I'm a petty criminal. He almost turned me in. I've done nothing thus far to earn his respect. Why do I want respect? I mean, nobody's treated me that way. Kind of that logic. But he does have I guess, a sort of subconscious, like, you are a safety. And he doesn't know why he feels safe around Duzon as much as he does. From what Rosai told about his fortune and things, he's like, is, is, was like, with the children and like, what does he see in the dream? Does he see the child? Like,
you
or at
did get a
least
29, so mostly the dream is benevolent towards you, so you kind of, from a third perspective almost, you see what you imagine this child's life would be like. Almost trying to put yourself in their shoes of what would have been different for you if you had the same support systems, if you had the same, what's it called? Privilege of having a loving family, of having a steady home, of not requiring you to steal and thieve to get your daily bread. It's just that those hypotheticals kind of enter your mind in this dream state of what would my current life be like if I just was human and had a loving family.
I kind of just look on in this vision and I'm like, what would I be? I mean, the family. Would I be a mage? I do like using my lightning. Maybe a druid? Or, you know, I would have loved to play outside and maybe not have to worry about where my next meal came from. But I know what reality is. And as good as this dream is, you know what? Maybe I indulge in this dream. If it's the only lie that I could indulge in, I'll indulge.
So to indulge in it, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna like try and fully put yourself into this child's shoes, or are you just going to continue to watch from like a third person perspective?
I'd like to go and try and merge with that child. I would like to try and live this dream and see where it naturally goes.
You live out this dream. You are still a kobold, but you have almost draconic ancestors, draconic parents. One dragon, one human almost, but not quite. You live out a strange yet fulfilling life. Not going to regular school, but just learning things from the draconic side of your family, at least elementary wise, and then learning personal skills from the more human half of your family. You grow up to be a very strong in the natural magics of the world, whether that be druid, ranger, or otherwise. And then come by morning, the dream ends when you're old and cease your journey of life in the middle of a forest surrounded by the ones that love you and in turn you love them. This is a very positive dream, and a rarity at that for you, Rari.
As Rory kind of stirs awake from the sunlight and the natural ambiance. No, no, come on. I mean, satisfying end, but if only it were real. And he's just muttering that in his, like, almost wake state. Huh. So that's what it's like. Duzon? I had the most interesting dream. And then I regale the vision that I had in the dream.
I was unaware my story had touched you so.
I don't know why or what, but it was nice to know that somewhere, maybe in the dreams, maybe somewhere else, there might be someone that had that life. Unfortunately, when I woke up, I'm still a kobold. When I woke up, I still have no family.
Yes.
Ooh. Yet, I have some quirky friends, I guess. I mean, you guys haven't stabbed me in the back yet.
Yes.
We aren't business associates or so friends. And as Rory says friends, he's starting to like, you know what? Yeah, let's have some friends. I don't know what that entails, but we'll have that.
Yes.
As morning dawns and you start to clean up your little campsite on the edge of town, you see a courier kind of running over the horizon.
Okay.
A little jackrabbit fellow with long ears and a gray fur and a black nose kind of comes hopping over the horizon.
A courier? Morning mail, probably.
He comes hopping over the horizon, kind of shuffling through his bag, and he's like, right then, morning mail. I've got the missive for one Vixen, and kind of flips the letter out of their backpack and hands it to Vix as they walk over and claim it. And then one for, kind of squints at the letter. One for a duzon, and flicks the letter out to be taken by you, duzon.
He like grabs it and he's just like, first off, he's like kind of visually disgusted, but he bites his tongue because he's holding dead tree.
He is holding dead tree.
But he's also unfamiliar with envelope, kind of unfamiliar. So at first he's like,
Duzon, as you go to bite your lip, you actually notice that your leather is made out of hide, not paper.
an animal had to die for this.
You could hear
It's not dead tree.
Well, fair enough. The rest of the animal was probably used for food, so that's natural.
And then as
So
he
he's just
flicks
like,
through the rest of his bag, he kind of just flicks the leather out for you as well, Rari.
Oh. Very rarely do I get mail.
does Duzon know how to read?
I would imagine so.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
If you can't read, that would be... No, Duzon actually just only knows how to read Dwarvish.
You can only read. Oh wait, no, because that would actually kind of be canon.
That would make sense, actually.
He only knows how to read Dwarvish.
And we're in an elven city.
No, I'm gonna say you could read Common.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Common. Everybody knows Common.
Besides,
Okay, fair.
we spend enough time with us common people,
That's true.
as common as we are. I mean, kobold and everything, but common enough, right? Passable, I'm
Yeah.
sure, maybe. But uh, so, what's the occasion for these here missives? Do you know, oh courier, sir?
The
Ma'am?
courier just kind of shrugs. I not read the letters, says I just deliver them. He says before he kind of just shuffles through his bag. Right, Rory, you, Vix. He kind of tips his hat to Vix, and says, "That's all I have for you lot." And he just kind of closes his bag and hops on his way.
Ta-ta. See you later.
Cheerio, jolly day. Jumps off.
Okay, missive. Please don't be a bounty for my head, which I know exists somewhere.
To see who goes first, we're gonna roll initiative between you and Duzon because Vixen is still on vacation.
Blatantly.
Do we add any modifiers to this roll?
Your perception.
Okay.
I could still use my stealth instead, right? Or no? Not for this
I'm
one.
gonna say no because this isn't actual combat. It's just deciding who gets to read their letter first.
Fair enough.
I got a 24.
I also got a 24.
Are you?
Who has the higher perception?
I have plus 10.
Plus 11.
Alright, so
Darn.
Rory, you'll go first.
Alright. With his claw, he opens the envelope gently.
On the front of the envelope, it says, "To scaled one from Catnabe."
Ah, catnap. Alright. Let's see what you unveiled.
You break the seal and open up the letter and kind of flick open the sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, pulling up my notes. It reads, "To the scaled one. I have tracked the one you described. Am following currently. Will update soon. So far, he just seems to be collecting resource."
Collecting resources. Oh, that can't be good. Collecting. Okay. Does it say anything else? He's just like kind of quickly, like as soon as he sees collecting resources, he's like, oh, fuck.
You do actually notice some stuff in code, almost like thieves can't, which you could pretty easily decipher using your underworld knowledge.
Yep.
Using the common ciphers of the black markets and in general the Thieves Guild, you can decipher this code to say, seems to be asking around for extremely exotic spell casting materials.
Exotic spellcasting materials. Okay. Interesting. Well worth the money that I spent. But only what? I'm sure he'll find out soon.
And then underneath of the code, it's just like, "When I see you again, you will owe me 1 silver."
Well, of course, any and all information is useful. Say, Duzon, before you get into your missive, good news, bad news. Good news, my tracker friend is responsive and alive.
Good.
Bad news, the wizard is looking for expensive or exotic spell components. I have no idea why. My spy friend will be back with more information soon.
It cannot be good.
No, I don't imagine so. I figure maybe that Necrostorm again might need something, like, expensive. But resource gathering from any type of urchin is good for the urchin, bad for everyone else, in my experience. Um,
Yes.
ugh. But now that we are only three, and Rosai is, well, 6 feet under, or ash in the wind, this is going to be tricky. But, yeah. Don't let me get too far sidetracked. You have your missive, and curious eyes are curious.
Yes.
I open my letter and begin to read. Hello?
Dawn. Oh boy.
Ah, criminy.
Once again, technology has failed us. Hello, Dawn. Nope.
Sorry about that. My uncle just came home.
No
No
worries.
worries.
So, what did I miss?
Duzon is going to open his letter now after Rari informs him of what his spy friend has divulged.
Duzon, there is no seal, or at least no official seal. It's more of just like a brand that has been burned onto this hide letter.
Okay.
You recognize the brand as the symbol of your god.
His eyes slightly like widen, and as he continues to read.
But you break this brand and open up the letter, and inside is this hide that has had this message burned onto it.
Okay.
And the message begins: Dear emissary Duzon, this is local temple to Borealis reaching out for aid. We are informed that you have taken reside in a local town. We have dire news about said town. If you could meet with us post haste, that would be most beneficial. For we are afraid that some kind of conspirator has taken root in said town and plans on dissembling it. This is all written in essentially more or less druidic, which you can read because you're a tree.
Fair.
But this isn't any normal language that anyone who is not very closely affiliated with nature can write or read.
All right.
So, as like Rory being the nosebag he is, kind of tries to peer over and see what the letter reads.
Go ahead
He
and
just sees
roll
a
a
bunch
nature
of.
check if you want to try and read what this says.
Oh, he's not trained in nature. He's just going to be like, ah, yes, scribbles. I am etchings. These are
Basically, Rory,
words.
what this letter looks like to you is cave paintings.
Oh, pictures. Rory does like a good picture.
The letter continues. While not at your utmost importance, I understand that you have quite the important mission ahead of you. This may aid you in your future endeavors. Signed, cordially, your local temple to Borealis and most of the other nature gods and goddesses.
So the cave paintings yield a good message.
He like puts it away and he's like, "Is there anyone else near him that like knows directions?" Wait, no,
Vixen
that
would
wouldn't
know
help.
directions.
If only they were here.
I'll play
Big
them for
douche.
now.
Fair. He looks to her and he goes,
You.
Yes.
A temple of Borealis. The first one that we can find. I need to get there.
Well, outside of this little embassy, as you will, it is on the nearby island, I think, as far as I remember. I believe the county town, whatever have you, is called Guinness.
We need to make a stop there. And fast.
Very well. Might I perhaps read what's on my letter first?
Go on.
They kind of open up their letter and pull out this sheet of paper if you'll turn your attention to beyond the fourth wall.
hang on, let me get on roll 20.
Robert, I prefer the cave drawings compared to whatever that is.
They pull out this very pristine piece of parchment that seems to have a bunch of gibberish written on it.
Cave drawings were more impactful. Not to sound like a total idiot, Vix. What is this?
As Vixen kind of analyzes the letter to see what this is, they would realize and exclaim, This is my brother's handwriting."
I'm sorry, you have siblings?
"Don't you?"
No.
No.
At least none that I'm aware of. If you find one, maybe I can talk to them and catch up. Maybe ask for some money.
"I doubt that's gonna happen. Anyway, this is my brother's handwriting. He must be trying to convey something that's deeply important if he decided to write it all in code."
Oh. So that's what the scribbles are.
Well,
Lovely.
obviously, would you not immediately think that this is some sort of cipher?
You see, my line of cipher and this line of cipher are two different things.
See, you want to know how I know this is his handwriting, other than the fact that obviously it is his handwriting?
Sure, go for it.
This is one of many, obviously he writes too many, but this is one of his personal ciphers.
So I'm assuming it's like a puzzle. Like most thievish ciphers, you have to put it together.
Most likely, but as for right now, it would be quite impossible to decipher without whatever code he made up.
So, do you need to look for a translator key of some kind, or did he build it into the message?
That is the question, my friend. Whether he built it into the message, or he will have an emissary deliver a deciphering key to me, is to be seen. So, if we want to go ahead and follow Duzon's lead, which he was able to decipher immediately, I am all for that. Although, if he obviously knows where I am now, so I am also in favor of staying here in waiting of a deciphering key.
Well, Duzon, how important are the cave drawings? How urgent would you say? From Necrostorm bad to Rosai almost killing us bad, or maybe something good like you've inherited 10 million gold and a property in a nice paradise island away from all the crazy.
They fear of a conspirator who will bring an end to this town.
Traitors! Got it. I sure hope this isn't a part of the Thieves Guild.
No.
Good.
Well, let's
Well,
hope
Actually,
not.
Rari, you bring up the Thieves Guild, and both you and Catnab would know if this was a Thieves Guild operation, which it is not. Because you have
definitely.
heard nothing of the Thieves Guild wanting to take down a highly reputable, highly beneficial embassy.
Oh, that's right. No, that the temple, right? That temple.
Yes.
Uh, we would never hit something like that. Too valuable for our purposes. But huh. But I wonder what would want to go there. Could I make an underworld lore check to see if there would be a faction interested in such
Absolutely,
tamperings?
go ahead.
All right,
Let me
lore.
actually see what the DC would be to know this.
Fair enough. I'm
Give me,
rolling.
give me one
Natural
second before you
20.
roll.
Huh?
Give me 1 second before you roll.
Okay, gotcha. Once you decide the DC, I'll roll. Nice. Caltrop deployed. This is not a drill. And for those of you listening, a caltrop is a sharp D4 on the floor.
That's bad.
What will you be rolling to do this again? Just
War Underworld.
okay. So that is a specific lore to this. Go ahead and roll now that I know the DC.
All right. That is a 28.
Perfect. So just short of a critical success. What this sounds like is the work of a conspirator dragon.
Oh. Oh no.
From what you
Like,
know about them, is follows. Conspirator dragons are hidden among the shadows and upper echelons of society. These dragons are schemers, always looking to manipulate and control others, either for personal gain or simply for the thrill of watching their machinations play out. Conspirator dragons see themselves as above all others and typically speak as such. However, most meet others in disguise and do their best to maintain their disguise at all costs.
okay. Um, Rory gets actually nervous. Uh, oh boy. Duzon.
What
Uh,
is it?
uh, you know how we're like searching for dragons and like or dragon powerful things?
Spit it out, boy.
Well, it just so happens that you mentioned something about conspirators, and there's a conspirator dragon, and they're the masters of disguise. Something that, well, I admittedly, due to my profession, would have loved to learn and pick up on, but they are the most masochistic thing and organization ever, and they're targeting your temple. A dragon is targeting your temple.
We need to move.
Yeah, we need to move. I'll move everybody out of the temple and relocate. We're not actually gonna fight one, are
He
we?
looks to Vixen.
Do you know where the temple is?
Well, yes, of course I do. It's just off the shore. It's not even like, but like 10 miles out, I'm pretty sure.
We make way. Let's move.
Okay, so suicide mission. Yeah, we'll go. Master of disguise, apex predator. Nothing to worry about.
Come on.
Okay.
As you guys head to, are you like heading towards the port or just generally towards the coastline?
I'd say. Well, I have no way of swimming, so I'm gonna say towards the port.
Okay, because the nearest port city is up north in Discos, which is 4 towns away.
Hmm. Then actually, on instead of that, do we have a boat that's like not off the shore, not off the port?
You can maybe find like a little like rowboat type thing.
Well,
That would definitely be a lot like stealthier than just like a big ferry or like commercial frigate. Not to mention, it would also probably cost a lot less than chartering a commercial frigate to go to this random island for no reason.
True. Well, I need to go there to get to the bloody temple.
so Duzon, what's the best option?
Well, may I look to see if there is a boat in the area we can use?
Vixen would point out that the shore is not even like 2 miles away from this town, so plenty of people go down there to fish and harvest other natural resources from the shore. So you could definitely make your way down to the shore and see if anybody's willing to rent you out their small fishing vessel or other type of seafaring thing.
Okay.
Is that what you would like to do?
Sure.
Alright, so you guys make your way down towards this shore side that's a few miles away from this little town. It is through onto the other side of a forest, but with Duzon and Vixen, you encounter little to no trouble traveling through this like little mini forest.
Also a tree.
As you reach the other side of this little mini forest, and I say mini forest as in it's not very big, it's maybe like even a half a mile wide. It just has very big trees, so if you didn't know what you were doing, you would get lost.
Right.
On the other side of this forest, it starts to turn to like sandstone, and then hard impacted sand, and then soft sand as you reach closer and closer to the water. And as you reach closer and closer to the water, you see children on little floatable devices. Further out, there are people who are on little like single man kayaks who are attempting to fish to see if they could bring in like a free dinner, more or less. And then actually on the shore, you see this group of half elvish men kind of like dragging in their little rowboat that's fit for like 4 or 5 people, depending on the size, obviously. Back as they bring in a net full of fish for them to split amongst each other.
These guys seem like kind chaps. I'm gonna go walk up to them.
Oh, just make sure you don't scare them off with your, treeness.
I will ensure that I am here peacefully. Don't worry.
Continues walking with the same classic Duzon glare.
As you approach these people who are just like hauling their little rowboat onto the sand so that it doesn't accidentally float out to sea. They kind of like casually look up, see you, and then look back down, continuing to try and untangle the fish from the net, and then just kind of snap back to you and just like, by God, it's an ent!
Leshy. Ents are bigger. I come peacefully,
They
but I
kind
have a
of
request.
look up and down and just like, you're saying you come in bigger sizes?
Yes.
I'd
Shocking,
like
I
to meet one of
know.
those fellas.
I have a request. A dire one.
Yeah, what can we help you with, Mr. Tree Man?
If it is to your guys' approval, me and my compatriots are in desperate need for a boat. We need to get to a temple. This town could be in grave danger.
Oh, you see it's like one of them kind of like scratches their brow ridge and another one scratches their chin, and they're like, oh, you're talking about the temple off the coast, right? Not even about 2 knots out, right?
I believe so, yes.
I suppose we can lend you our little boat here for a favor.
What is it?
You're in cahoots with the nature goddess, ain't you?
Borealis, keeper of seasons. Yes.
How's about you put in a good word, make sure our crops go nice and strong, will you? And then we'll let you have our boat.
I will do what I can. I will plead with her that your boat was what got me to that temple. I assure you.
And
I
this
am
is
hopeful.
and this is a promise, yeah?
I promise I will try my best.
Alright then. And there's one thing us men around here do to seal a promise, and he kind of holds out his hand. Shake on it.
He kind of like grabs it.
Make an athletics check.
Just
I'm gonna roll
I knew
42
exactly
for
where
this
this was
guy.
going. I knew exactly where this was going.
I feel like it's so fitting for this to happen. As Duzon does not know his full
so-
strength.
What's 16 plus 13?
That's
29.
29.
29.
So, here's the good news.
Okay.
This dude rolled fairly high.
Cool.
And he has a pretty decent strength from doing fishing and lumbering and other sorts of strenuous activities all day long to support his family.
He's a nice, strong young lad.
He's a nice, strong, mid-30-something man. Here's the thing. He is, in fact, surprisingly made of flesh.
Yeah. And I am made of wood.
So you kind of grab his hand, and I'm not sure what he was expecting to accomplish here, but you kind of squeeze just a little too tight, and you hear the cartilage between his knuckles kind of just pop.
Oh no! Oh no! I dislocated his finger.
And he's just kind of like, oh, tight grip you have there, lad, as he kind of just pulls his hand free from yours and shakes his hand free of the stinging pain that your grip leaves. Oh, your mother must have raised you light. Oh, you're a tree. Do you have a mother?
No. Aside from Borealis, no.
Well, then Borealis must have raised you right, lad. You have quite the grip on you. He kind of like rubs his hand a little bit, popping a finger back into its place.
Yes. So our promise is set then.
Our promise is set as the roof's in the dirt, my lad.
I will return this boat safely to you, and make sure to alert you of what our promise entails.
Safe travels to ye. Be careful. And as the night goes on, the waves kind of get more rough.
I will take that into account. Thank you.
Okay. Waves get rougher. Oh boy.
Small one, smart one. Hop on.
You all kind of pile into this boat. I'm trying to break the accent. There we go.
Just perma British.
That's Irish, my guy.
Oh, Irish, my bad. Hold up. Brain calibrating. Brain failing.
But yeah, you all pile into this boat. Vixen, Little Flame, trying not to burn anything. Rari,
Yes.
Duzon, you all kind of pile into this boat and make your way off to this little island. With that, I will be right back.
Well, if there's one thing I know for certain, it's that Rari does not favor drowning.
Yes, you will not.
And hopefully the waves are kind to us because we're on the rescue.
The ocean is unpredictable. But with
Yeah.
Borealis on my side, I will try my best.
Right. So, this temple. How exactly old is it?
Centuries.
And so, do your worshippers for Borealis know of anything like a dragon that a conspirator dragon at all?
They could. And if they don't, they soon will.
Oh joy. Conspirator dragons thrive on their experiments of basically toying with whatever they've locked their eyes on. And unfortunately, that means they have chosen to play with Borealis worshippers. And it typically, from at least what I know, doesn't always end well.
Borealis,
You have to be wise.
with her noble followers, myself included, it is harsh and just punishment for tampering with her ways.
One might argue the conspirator dragon is acting fully within its natural order to just cause chaos or discourse. Subtly, of course, never directly.
A town flourishing, and woods with an ecosystem that is not overrun nor depleted, is natural. The conspirator dragon, based on what you tell me, only causes disorder.
Right.
And disorderly beings is why I'm here.
Well, let's just hope Rari doesn't get ocean sick again. I mean, it's short distance, so maybe not.
Fear not. I am desensitized to digestive excrements.
Well, I, I guess that's good. That means you won't judge if I get woozy on the trip. Um, Out of curiosity, though I'm not entirely sure you would know this, uh, there's no such thing as sea monsters, are there?
It depends on what you consider monster or creature.
Oh, big, menacing, many-teethed, giant things.
You're thinking of sharks. They exist.
No, well, I mean, I guess, but like gigantic sharks, like ones that could rise up out of the water and sink ships.
Within the channel we are sailing. Very doubtful.
Oh, well, that's good, but that doesn't help. Uh, like, so no big sea worms with many teeth.
At least
Nothing
that
like
I
that,
know
right?
of.
Those are all nightmares that parents would threaten misbehaving children with, I hope. And even then, that's kind of messed up on the account of traumatizing them. But I can see why it would work.
The
Being
ocean.
drowned to death in the ocean isn't very fun, and being a sea creature's lunch is not fun either.
As a being of nature, I know lots to know about it. But the ocean is something even Borealis herself knows frighteningly little of.
Splendid.
I imagine you
No.
guys are having this conversation as you're rowing out to this island.
Yep.
Yes.
Rory's having this conversation hoping not to get seasick because, again, we are, from what he remembers from the description from those fishermen, it gets rougher as you get closer.
Yeah, but also
And
keep in mind that you are not on a, like, ferry this time. You are quite literally on a rowboat.
which, in Rory's mind, it's like, would that mean he's like trying to do the calculus and distracting himself because he's like, do the waves feel rougher? He doesn't want to find out.
You have no idea. You're not acclimated to the sea.
Exactly, and Rory's very much keeping these dialogues going as a way to keep his mind off of thinking even remotely about the waves.
So I have to ask a question here. Who is doing the rowing?
Um, cool.
I mean, I'm the strongest person here, so I'll do it.
Duzon, by far,
Duzon, you're
Rory
doing the
is.
rowing?
Yes.
Then I would ask you to make an athletics check.
Alrighty. That is a 28.
Perfect.
Nice.
With a 28, this is no issue for you.
As if there was any doubt.
You had to exert more effort when it came to breaking that mechanical door.
Nice.
So, when it comes to this, it's not really that big of a deal, although over time it might wear you out. But that's to be
My
seen.
arms will get tired, but that's expected.
That is to be seen. As you kind of make your way out to this island, you could see this island from the shore, and it just keeps getting bigger as the shore getting smaller.
Okay.
So we approach.
Yes.
Oh, I sure hope. Rari's just getting increasingly nervous about the fact that he's facing that type of dragon. He's like psyching himself out.
Hey, Rari.
I got, yeah.
As you kind of like psych yourself out and make this out to be probably bigger than it is, I need you to make a will save.
Sure thing.
No.
One will save coming right up. Okay, come on, computer, unlock please. So I could look at my character sheet. Pretty please? There we go. Will save. That is a 27.
Congratulations, you don't cause the fear effect on yourself.
Yay! Everything's gonna be fine. If anything, we have a tall tree and Vixen. We'll be fine.
Did I name my elk yet?
As you guys make it safely to the shore of this island, you see this fairly large temple, but the temple is not made out of stone. It is made out of wood, but not dead wood. It is made out of living tree, as almost like these trees have been molded and shaped while still growing to form this temple.
Well, this isn't your average everyday temple. I've never seen one made out of wood before, let alone this kind of wood.
If only human construction could reach this capacity. Truly a beautiful sight.
I think it would, but it wouldn't hardly be nature anymore, I don't think.
No, it's not. But it's the closest they can get to shelter and protection. So we allow it.
As you start to walk up the stairs to this temple, one of the proprietors of this temple kind of comes out to greet you and like kind of kneels before you. Oh, great Ambassador Borealis, I beseech you. I see you have gotten our missive of great intrigue.
I have. Rise.
This is a human, who
Okay.
is adorned in, sheep's wool, that has been knitted into very, more or less fine, monk's robes. And he
Okay.
stands as you tell him to, and he's like, we have heard, we have gotten missives from the human ambassador of the town that you just came from, saying that the elven ambassador has been acting strange, even for elves.
In what way?
In ways that they have not been sleeping, eating, resting, drinking. In unnatural ways. In ways that do not fit with the creation of nature. Even elves need to sleep. Even elves need to drink and consume. Thus is the way of nature. But this elf has not been seen eating and consuming, has not been seen drinking, has not been seen resting. They have only ever been seen at their station, enforcing their power.
Small one.
Yes.
Tell him what you know.
Yes, so, not to cause too much alarm, but there's a conspirator dragon that has infiltrated your ranks. And essentially, they thrive off of their machinations, causing discord and chaos as much as possible. Um, Dangerous is an understatement, as I'm sure you know that any form of treachery or uh, mutiny or even gossip or rumors tend to be, oh, I don't know, drastic, especially in a civilization or, you know, structured place such as this.
The monk kind of responds with, "Oh no, I assure you, we've checked over our ranks many a time before coming to the decision to reach out to an acolyte of Borealis herself." He kind of gestures towards Duzon. "No, it is not among our ranks that we fear this thing, whether dragon or otherwise may be. We fear it may be among the town that you just came from.
So,
For if it were among us, then we would be more than capable of dispatching it ourselves, you see. But because it's from a foreign embassy, we cannot do anything outside the power of our temple."
okay. So, Duzon. So, according to the missive, and according to the inklings and urges I think are afoot, what do you think? The conspirator dragon in the embassy we just left, but yet we were sent here, as though by your god and through this temple. What does this all mean, do you think? I know, at least if I conspire as a thief, confusion and misleading are just par for the course, but I just don't get why we would need to travel this far.
Vixen,
If
actually, as you
right.
ask this question, Vixen kind of speaks up from her note taking and just kind of like pokes her head up, just like, "You know, now that I actually think further on it, these fine people are saying that the elven ambassador has been acting strangely, and the human ambassador has correlated such information. Do you think this, whatever it is, be it dragon or otherwise, other natural thing, because clearly gods and goddesses don't exist, that's not canon, I'm just..."
I know, that would be hilarious, but I'd be like, Rory's
just stares Duzon directly in the
wrong
eyes.
place to say
"Gods
such.
and goddesses don't exist," as they strike off a note from their notebook.
I'm sorry, what?
No, that's not canon. That is not canon.
That would have been if Vixen were here and he said that, Rory would be like, wrong please. Wrong please.
But yeah, it basically they're like, "Well, whatever this thing may be, it could very well have killed the Elvish ambassador and have taken their position."
So do we investigate the Elvish ambassador? And how would I mean, I'm a kobold of all things. I might be able to communicate with my own native tongue, But I've never talked to a dragon before. How would we know it's disguised?
And either way, if what we're thinking is true, once we figure it out, he could be capable of destroying the entire town.
The entire town, and then some.
Yes.
With those thoughts meandering the air, with those thoughts thickening the atmosphere, that is where I'm going to leave off this session and see you next time on Beyond the Fourth Wall while we unfold this conspiracy of who does what, where, and why.
Yes.
Oh, I sure hope it's not what I thought it is.
To all of those watching, I know this is a fairly shorter stream, but that is because one of our players is on vacation. But we will see you next time on Beyond the Fourth Wall.
Yes.
Yes.